Well, it's been a hot minute since I've discussed YouTube in terms of politics or even how the general thing works. And since my last video on the subject pertaining to Angry Joe's copyright claims from Lionsgate, there have been some more fuck-ups. So let's talk about them real quick, shall we? Recently, a YouTuber by the name of RackaRacka with over 1 million subscribers has been toting around this video about how a lot of their videos have been demonetized, age-restricted, and pretty much everything else. And even down to now with the new YouTube policy that if you have mature content, then your content will be shelved from everyone. Now, again, I think there are some things that should be shelved away from general public. Like there are YouTube channels that pretty much step on puppies and kittens all the time. There's some that are still up, and it just baffles me. But one thing that RackaRacka points out in this video that I will link down in the description below is the fact that YouTube Premium has a new show called Wayne. Now, if you haven't seen Wayne, it's actually a pretty violent show. But the thing is that you can actually watch this film or this TV series for free. Or if you have YouTube Red, it is part of a YouTube Red Premium package. Now, some people have criticized YouTube in this sense that you're promoting mainstream directors. People have already, proven themselves with people like the creators of Deadpool that are creating a show like this, that they're promoting more established filmmakers as opposed to shutting out up-and-coming filmmakers. And this, to me, is kind of the decline of how YouTube is supposed to work. YouTube started out as just kind of this sharing platform for content creators. And while some of them in the early ages, like Fred, weren't necessarily the best things in the world, they were still access points to new talent, new people. And because of YouTube's now switch to compete with Netflix and other big studios and become part of the mainstream establishment, it really does seem like YouTube as a company is really tearing itself apart. And it's removing the you part from Tube and replacing you with corporate Tube. And that's kind of what this is implying here. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't talented filmmakers still being put out there, right? But RackaRacka's videos are, they can be violent. They are extreme. They put a lot of time and effort. Some of their people actually go to the hospital because of what they do. They do extreme stunts. And I don't think it's worth it for them, at least, to sit there and essentially be told, okay, your videos, we know how much time and effort you put into those, but guess what? Your outreach, the amount of people that this video actually gets suggested to, is going to completely be diminished because of that. And for comparison, RackaRacka actually points out that one video of theirs had 3 F words, 3 fucks in the entire video, whereas a single episode of Wayne had tons of expletives, tons of cuss words. And that video, in that TV show is still able to be viewed not only just by YouTube Red subscribers, but people who have like a free episode thing, like regular YouTubers or regular people who sign into YouTube can actually watch it. Kids can actually watch it if their brothers or sisters have the, just a regular YouTube account. And it just points to a huge hypocrisy in this new digital age where you can be this big, grand content creator that makes this, like, really awesome content that competes with mainstream stuff that actually allows for an outlet of alternative ideas and content. Whereas now with something like Wayne, and because of the whole situation with RackaRacka, it just seems to me that YouTube is no longer the place for filmmakers. It actively shuns out people who are trying to break in, that are trying to establish themselves as a business, as a brand, as filmmakers or storytellers or anything like that, they actively just they discourage that kind of behavior and say, oh yeah, well, you know, you're great and all, you don't have what it takes, we're just going to bring in these established people and we're just going to use them. And that to me is the most discouraging factor in this whole thing. Now, there's a video done by Lobster Magnet Reviews, and if you don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber online who talks about media and whatnot. He did this huge 40 to 50 minute video all about YouTube Rewind 2018 and how it's kind of a sign of the changing times in YouTube's sort of sphere of influence. And I'll play a clip for you right now.
So as much as things change, they have a startling habit of staying the same. As disruptive as all these new technologies have been in terms of creating a whole new platform of new media, the blunt reality is that the people in control of everything are still the same. We still have the same Hollywood industrial complex of celebrities, actors, and musicians who remain at the top tier of the talent pool, with the same studios being the only ones who are able to finance full-scale TV and movie productions. In theory, anyone with a cell phone camera and some editing software could create their own feature film or TV series and release it on YouTube. From a technological standpoint, that's completely possible, but accomplishing that from a financial standpoint is a different thing entirely. But that's where, in this digital landscape, we haven't seen anything come along that can bridge this gap, because there's a vast sea of difference in terms of what it takes to finance a legit production compared to a ragtag YouTuber with a video blog making stuff from their bedroom. So let's get into some YouTube economics. Generally, Google AdSense YouTube ads pay between 69 cents to $7 CPM, which stands for cost per mil, which basically is the cost per 1,000 impressions or views on a video. How much a video makes can vary depending on the topic of the video, which will determine what kind of ads get placed over it. For example, I've noticed a trend where my videos focusing on anime and manga tend to make far less than the videos I've done on more mainstream topics like movies or superheroes. But for our hypothetical scenario, let's assume the best case scenario. Let's assume I make a video that gets 1 million views, that's cute and funny, that I make all on my own, and I get the max CPM of $7. That nets me around $7 grand. Not bad for a low effort piece of content, but I want to make a real video for the next one. I want to make an ambitious sketch, and I'm going to use my big boy money to pay big boy rates. Here's a very good chart I came across for a service that was advertising their digital payment software that illustrates how much real film production can cost. As you can see, these are the usual day rates for a director of photography, a grip, a sound mixer, and an actor. So you got $650 for the SAG talent, a DP for $920, a union grip which is about $375, sound mixer which is running you at $610, and this boom guy who's another $411. Add that up and that's nearly $3 grand. And that's just for these 5 guys. That's not including equipment rentals, vehicles, production insurance, location rental, craft services, and all the fun stuff that goes into big boy productions. When you add up all those variables, it's very easy to go above the $7 grand you might make on your million hit YouTube video in the best case scenario. So essentially on your second video, you'll be in the red. So you can see where the gap starts to form between the professional production expenses and the reality of the YouTube economy. Of course, Google AdSense is just one potential income stream, and any savvy YouTuber will have multiple forms of income. And while that money might be enough to support one person handsomely, or maybe even a small team, it's not on the scale to support a medium-tier production on a continuous basis. On average, a single episode of network TV series can cost anywhere between $3 to $4 million. So let's say PewDiePie wants to really disrupt the system. He wants to use his Google AdSense money to fund his own cop drama, so let's look at his social blade. It's an estimate on how much he's worth based on his web traffic, but it's not 100% accurate, but it is a good estimate. So he's estimated to be making $21 million a year, which is great for him, but he's going to need to produce 22 episodes for a full season at around $4 million per an episode. So to fund a full season of his real TV series, he's going to need $88 million, which despite how rich he is, he probably doesn't have. And now you see we have the other shoe drop. This is the grim reality of new media. The finances just aren't what they need to be to support the level of production value that we've come to expect on regular network television or in film. And this is the hard lesson I've seen play out again and again. Back in 2012, YouTube started their original channel initiative where they invested $100 million giving money to media companies, celebrities, and prominent YouTubers in an attempt to try and provide the platform with more high-quality content. Despite having such big names as Madonna, Pharrell Williams, Rainn Wilson, Amy Poehler attached to these channels, most failed to build an audience. By September 2012, only 20 of the initial 100 channels were getting 1 million views a week. Those numbers stagnated, and despite in October YouTube introducing 60 more new original channels funded by an additional $200 million of Google investment money, by November 2012, YouTube ended funding for over 60% of those 160 channels, and they were left to fend for themselves on whatever they could scrap by from their Google AdSense. By 2013, the program was canceled, and all references that it even existed in the first place were completely scrubbed away.
So yeah, as you can see, YouTube in of itself is in a bit of a pickle. It's terrible. It's honestly terrible for those who are trying to build a brand, to build a business. And when it comes to stuff like this, like for these people, for RackaRacka, the amount of extreme stunts they do, that exposure that they have on YouTube could possibly lead them into jobs in the film industry, right? The fact that YouTube is willing to punish independent filmmakers, but yet bring in established filmmakers and allow them to do the very same things that regular YouTubers would get punished for, is honestly the most backwards hand bitch slap I've ever seen given from a company to its own workers. It is so backhanded that I have no idea if I actually want to stay on this platform to make films. And that's why I have created a website, all for my own content. And so if you want to, the website link is down below. Hopefully I'll be able to put some more films on there, but as for now, all my film content, I don't know if I'm going to stay on this platform long enough to continue putting films on here. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.